And the Grammy goes to Solange, Cranes in the Sky.
Thank you so much. I'm overwhelmed with so much gratitude. My journey has been a rise and fall. It's been ugly, it's been loud, it's been disruptive, it's been long. It's often been painful, but it's been free, it's been beautiful, and it's been mine.
Have you ever felt that sense of awe when someone breaks free from every label you thought defined them? That's exactly what happens the moment you realize Solange Knowles is far more than just Beyonce's younger sister. She's bold, she's visionary, she's faced down rumors, heartbreak, and some deeply complicated family drama, yet still carved out a space that is unmistakably, unapologetically her own. Today, we're unfolding her story, layer by layer, unearthing all the twists and turns that led from a Houston childhood to the top of the music charts. From raw creative freedom to personal battles nobody saw coming. Get ready. Once you dive into Solange's life, from her earliest days performing at theme parks to that infamous elevator throwdown, you might find yourself questioning everything you assumed about her. This is the story of a woman who refused to fade into anyone's shadow. Buckle up, because there's a lot more to Solange Knowles than meets the eye. And by the end, you may never see her the same way again.
My name is Solange, and I'm a black girl who rocks.
Solange Knowles was born on the 24th of June, 1986, in Houston, Texas. If you think she just sprung onto the scene out of nowhere, think again. Creativity practically runs through her bloodline. Her mother, Tina Knowles, of proud Louisiana Creole heritage, owned a hair salon, while her grandmother worked as a seamstress. Surrounded by people who constantly used their hands and minds to craft beauty, young Solange was groomed to be nothing less than a creative force from day one. At around 5 years old, she did what most kids her age wouldn't dare dream of. Hopped on a stage at Houston's beloved Six Flags Astroworld and belted out her first public performance. Even at that tender age, it was clear this wasn't just a fleeting hobby. By 9, she was already writing her own songs, scribbling lyrics, and humming melodies that practically begged to be heard. But if you're wondering whether her parents just threw her into showbiz head first, the truth is more nuanced. Her father, Matthew Knowles, had a plan for Destiny's Child, the group that would skyrocket Beyonce to worldwide stardom. Solange, on the other hand, hung back, quietly honing her dance moves. She even ended up jumping on tour with Destiny's Child at just 15, when Kelly Rowland got injured, proving she was more than capable of stepping in at a moment's notice. Yet from the jump, Solange carved out her own path. She wrote, she danced, she studied the ins and outs of performance from behind the scenes. And even though she loved her family fiercely, she knew there was no chance she'd want to be a permanent member of her sister's group. The easy route, riding on the coattails of Destiny's Child, just didn't interest her. She had a world of ideas in her head, and she wanted to explore them on her own terms. But for all her undeniable talent, Solange's official start in the music industry wasn't the fairy tale leap you might imagine. In fact, her first album dropped like a pebble in a pond, leaving barely a ripple. Let's flash forward to 2003, the year Solange released her debut album, Solo Star. With high-profile collaborators like the Neptunes, Jermaine Dupri, and Timbaland, you'd think it was guaranteed success. And for a moment, it looked promising. The record landed on the Billboard 200 and managed to sell over 100,000 copies in the United States. A respectable number, but nowhere near what the industry insiders had predicted. Critics and fans were split. Some praised her voice and glimpses of innovation. Others dismissed it as an attempt to mimic established R&B styles without a clear identity. That chilly reception influenced her next big move, acting. In 2004, Solange snagged a role in Johnson Family Vacation, standing shoulder to shoulder with comedic heavyweights like Cedric the Entertainer and Vanessa Williams. She even recorded a track for the movie's soundtrack, but critics tore into the film, not sparing any compliments. From there, she appeared in Bring It On, All or Nothing, hoping to find new footing. Though the movie itself got lukewarm reviews, she managed to snag some positive nods for her performance. Amidst it all, Solange's personal life was in the spotlight more than ever. At just 17, she married her then-boyfriend Daniel Smith, who was 19 at the time. The two relocated to Moscow, Idaho, where he attended college, and together they welcomed a son, Ulez, into the world. The public reaction was intense. Some questioned whether she'd thrown away her youth, while others lauded her bravery in choosing motherhood so young. Once again, though, Solange surprised everyone. Instead of sinking into the background, she was quietly penning tracks for other artists, inching her way back into the spotlight on her own terms. The next time she returned with new music, it was clear she had a renewed sense of purpose and a lot more control over the process. The year was 2008, and Solange was on a mission to prove herself beyond doubt. Teaming up with Geffen Records and EMI, she dropped her second album, Soul Angel and the Hadley St. Dreams. Where solo star had wavered, this record came roaring in with a unique vibe that was equal parts retro soul and futuristic R&B. Critics, who had once dismissed her, were forced to take a second look. The album wasn't a chart-topping blockbuster, but it got people talking about Solange's artistry rather than her last name. So what made it different? Creative freedom. For one, Solange publicly stated she had more control over this album, free from overbearing label executives trying to force her into a neat pop package. Tracks like I Decided showcased a funky throwback sound that soared to the top of Billboard's Hot Dance Club Play chart. Publications like Rolling Stone praised it as a breakthrough moment, while fans finally started to see her not just as a Knowles, but as an inventive musician in her own right. During this time, Solange also launched her own tour in the UK, electrifying smaller venues with her fiercely personal approach to live performance. No glitzy stadium show overshadowed by dancers and pyrotechnics, just a spotlight on Solange and her backing band, letting the music speak for itself. Despite lingering critiques, she was clearly evolving. Every interview, performance, and new track added another layer to the intriguing puzzle of her identity. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. She later opened up about suffering from panic attacks.
The last few weeks have been very difficult for me, personally, to say the least, as I've embarked on a new set of challenges before me. And I've been afraid, for I know that fear is ugly.
And what she described as a near breakdown while creating new material. Underneath the cool, confident exterior was an artist wrestling with intense pressures, personal, familial, and professional. The world would see that stress boil over in one of the most shocking pop culture moments of the decade, courtesy of elevator security footage no one was ever meant to see. May 12, 2014. The Met Gala after party.
The shocking video purportedly captures Beyonce's younger sister Solange attacking JayZ while inside the Standard Hotel elevator, even kicking him multiple times. JayZ at one point holding her foot but never retaliating. Beyonce staying out of the fray. Solange leaving the New York City venue tight-lipped, JayZ opting for a separate vehicle.
An elevator ride that went viral in a matter of hours. 1 minute, it was just Solange, JayZ, and Beyonce stepping into a private space. The next, security footage leaked by TMZ showed Solange going full-on beast mode against her brother-in-law. Arms flailing, voice raised, she looked ready to fight as if her life depended on it. Meanwhile, Beyonce seemed frozen at the corner, watching, letting the scene unfold. Instantly, the public latched onto every conspiracy theory imaginable. Was JayZ disrespecting Beyonce? Was he flirting with someone else that night, prompting Solange to jump to her sister's defense? Or was this fight fueled by years of pent-up frustration, overshadowed by the combined stardom of her sister and brother-in-law? Eventually, all three released a concise statement, saying that each had taken responsibility for their role. They'd apologized, and the family had moved on. But fans weren't satisfied. People needed a narrative, a reason for Solange's fury. Reportedly, prior tension with fashion designer Rachel Roy added fuel to the fire. Rumor had it that JayZ's jokes or remarks toward Beyonce also played a part. Some insiders claimed Solange was simply fed up with what she viewed as reckless, disrespectful behavior toward her sister. Regardless of what really happened, one thing was sure: the elevator clip changed the public perception of Solange overnight. Suddenly, the quiet sibling had proven she was anything but timid. She was fiercely protective, wildly emotional, and more formidable than many people realized. And ironically, that incident made some folks take notice of Solange's music for the first time. People started streaming her songs and reading up on her background. She became the talk of every entertainment blog. If the elevator incident cast her as a fiery defender, her personal relationships and struggles would reveal deeper challenges, everything from early marriage to rumored mental health battles. Solange's personal life has been the subject of whispers for years. When she married at 17, critics insisted it was forced upon her to sidestep any scandal about a teenage pregnancy. Although she's never confirmed that rumor, she acknowledged the shock and the emotional toll. The couple welcomed baby Jules, and life in Idaho brought a slower pace, but it wasn't enough to keep the marriage intact. By 2007, she and Daniel Smith called it quits, leaving Solange to juggle single motherhood with the demands of her budding career. Then came hush-hush rumors about Solange's connections to other artists, including a brief mention of a link to Lil Wayne that he later suggested had actually happened. She's mostly kept quiet on those topics, preferring to let people speculate. Meanwhile, her second marriage to video director Alan Ferguson in 2014 looked like a fairy tale set in New Orleans, complete with jaw-dropping wedding photos that set social media on fire. For a moment, it seemed she'd found lasting happiness, but by 2019, that relationship also ended. Amid these romantic ups and downs, there have also been persistent whispers about Solange battling bipolar disorder. Some have linked her rumored mental health struggles to her meltdown while recording new music and the infamous elevator outburst. Though Solange herself rarely addresses these rumors directly, she has been open about struggling with panic attacks and a complex nerve disorder that led to the cancellation of certain tour dates in 2017. She once described feeling like her body was at war with itself, a deeply vulnerable admission that put her glowing stage presence into stark contrast with the pain she was managing behind the scenes. Yet through every high and low, Solange kept creating.
I think in my daily life, I try to inspire others and give back the same energy and love and strength that is given to me every day through my art and through my music and my work.
She performed here and there, teased new music, and slowly pieced together what would become a landmark project, one that would set her apart not just from her famous family, but from her entire generation of artists. Her next record didn't just silence naysayers. It cemented her standing as a musician unafraid to tackle societal issues and personal demons head-on. In 2016, Solange unleashed A Seat at the Table, a project that soared to the top of the Billboard 200 and proved she was an artist with a profound message. The album tackled the complexities of Black womanhood, mental health, cultural identity, and empowerment. It resonated so strongly that it earned Solange a Grammy for Cranes in the Sky.
Solange, for the fierce way that you walk through this world, for your wild style, for your rich love of our people, our culture, our legacy, please accept this Black Girls Rock Rockstar Award. You are the truth and you absolutely rock.
Granting mainstream recognition to the artist some had once labeled lesser known. Around this time, a monumental feat occurred. Both Solange and Beyonce topped the Billboard charts in the same calendar year, making them the first sisters in history to share that honor. For Solange, it was more than a family milestone. It was the world finally recognizing her on her own merits. Critics and fans alike marveled at her distinctive sound, a seamless blend of modern R&B, jazz, and experimental funk. Live performances of tracks like Don't Touch My Hair became celebrations of cultural pride and personal autonomy. But she didn't stop at music. Solange founded St. Heron, a platform and label designed to champion Black creativity in all its forms, spanning music, art, and more. Her foray into the art world exploded further with visual performances at museums like the Hammer Museum and the Getty. She showcased that her artistry wasn't just about hitting the perfect note. She wanted to shape entire experiences that linger in your mind. The pivotal moment came in 2022, when the New York City Ballet invited her to compose a piece for its fall fashion gala. She became the first Black woman to score an original composition for that institution. An achievement made even more powerful by the fact that, in its 74-year history, only 2 other women had ever received that honor. This was Solange, operating at the highest level of creative expression, stepping far outside the boundaries of mainstream pop. Yet while she soared creatively, her impact on style, fashion, and the broader culture told another story entirely. Her refusal to conform echoed in every outfit, every hairstyling choice, and every unpredictable pivot. If you've only followed Solange for her discography, you're missing half the story. Over the years, she's evolved into a cultural tastemaker, effortlessly merging avant-garde fashion with a distinct personal aesthetic. From minimalist silhouettes to daring color palettes, she's shown a flair for turning red carpets into exhibitions of self-expression. Remember her infamous all-white wedding photos? They essentially broke the internet and redefined the concept of a bridal party. Solange's relationship with her hair has also become emblematic of her broader mission to represent Black womanhood in its most authentic forms. She's often rocked her natural curls, resisting any pressure to hide or alter her look for mainstream appeal. In interviews, she's mentioned how empowering it is to wear her hair the way she chooses, making it clear she hopes to inspire other women to embrace their natural beauty. All of this ties back to her Saint Heron platform. Founded initially as a music label, it has blossomed into a creative agency, studio, library, and art gallery. The goal? Amplify Black artists, designers, thinkers, and voices in spaces that often overlook them. If that wasn't ambitious enough, Solange also ventured into directing music videos for other artists, like her stunning visuals for SZA's The Weeknd, expanding her creative repertoire in ways that continue to surprise even her most devoted fans. Magazine editors, fashion critics, and cultural commentators agree on one thing. Solange has shattered the mold of how a pop R&B artist can express themselves. Whether it's blending mediums like dance, costume design, live instrumentation, or hosting intimate, immersive performances, she always keeps people guessing. She's not just an R&B star. She's an artist, in every sense of the word. That spirit of relentless innovation and self-determination brings us to the final part of her journey, a point where she stands firmly on her own 2 feet.
And for all of the women out there who are fighters, who are moving mountains and shaking the ground beneath us all. And I also want to thank the women who are just being, just existing every day in their own truths, whatever that may be. That is as radical as an act in itself. For giving a voice to a woman like me who might not be your graceful, poised, polite, soft, or gentle woman, and may never strive to be. And for letting the world know that there's room for both.
Recognized as the multi-hyphenate powerhouse she was destined to be. From her earliest days, dancing behind Destiny's Child, to composing music for the New York City Ballet, Solange Knowles has lived a life that defies simple categories. She's endured being labeled Beyonce's shadow, navigated heartbreak and health crises, flipped skeptics into believers, and leveraged every obstacle as fuel for her art. Through it all, she has embodied a creative vision that refuses to play by anyone else's rules. Take a moment to think about where she started. A little girl from Houston with big dreams and even bigger determination, and where she stands now, a Grammy-winning singer, songwriter, composer, performance artist, and entrepreneur who has redefined what it means to thrive on your own terms. The elevator incident may have introduced her to some as a firebrand, but it's her body of work, everything from Soul Angel to A Seat at the Table to When I Get Home, that truly cements her status as a trailblazer. So, do you still see Solange as merely the younger sister in music's most famous family? Or have you begun to grasp just how many boundaries she's pushed, how many rules she's broken, and how many lives she's touched by daring to be herself, even when the world insisted she play a secondary role? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this incredible journey. Has it changed the way you see Solange? Do you have a newfound appreciation for her relentless creativity and willingness to speak out? Or is there a specific chapter of her life resonates most with you? Don't be shy. Share your reactions, theories, or personal experiences in the comments. And if you found this deep dive revealing, consider sticking around. We've got plenty more stories about underappreciated legends, behind-the-scenes controversies, and boundary-breaking icons coming your way. For now, just remember, Solange Knowles isn't a footnote in someone else's story. She's the author of her own narrative, and she's still writing it, one innovative project at a time. Stay curious, keep exploring these fascinating histories, and we hope to see you again in the next video.